Alright, what's up, nation? Welcome back. Uh, nation, I don't know. I think nation, world, people, it's all interchangeable. I don't have any set. I don't own a certain word. So for right now, y'all are my nation. The nation. I don't know. I am yours, you're mine. I think there's no ownership in anything. If I'm your something, that automatically means you are my something too. Does that make sense? I don't know. Uh, that isn't to say just because I'm your enemy does not mean that you might be not be my enemy. Does that make sense? Either way, regardless, relationships are always two-way. And uh, yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, fetuses and babies, and yeah. So the human baby has a long time where it is next to helpless. I mean, all it does is cry. It can't do anything. It can't do a push-up. It can't support its weight, and it doesn't even really know how to eat. All it knows is how to drink milk, and that's the same with a lot of other mammals. But for the human child, I'm just stressing here that it lasts a long time because we are the most intellectual mammal, or I say mammal, but we are a very intellectual species, and in order to develop that internal growth, it takes time and it takes learning, and it takes learning from our environment. And we a lot of the time, like, as babies learn through watching, like, they know what's going on a lot of the time. Like, we might think that they are unaware, but we are born very aware of our environment. We are born, like, knowing pretty much. I tend to think that we're born knowing everything without knowing how to express ourselves, and the way that we express ourselves is very primitive, and on like a on an emotional level, that's how we express ourselves, like through subtleties and emotional instincts. And we don't know how to use language yet. Language is a very intellectual way of speaking. Like, I can't be the judge of this, like, but I'm pretty sure that French dogs and Canadian dogs and like British dogs all probably interact the same way, more or less, But humans are a little bit more vocal. Like, we have a lot more boundaries, so to speak. And we have a lot more boundaries, but I find that ironic because we have one thing that does not have any boundaries, and that's money. The language of money, anybody understands that. That's just my little imperialist coming out right now, but yeah, we have a little bit more boundaries. Like, we tend to dissociate ourselves with the environment, and also I think that's also another curious thing I have, curious trait about drugs and marijuana and LSD and mushrooms and the misconceptions that they're given. Like, they're called dissociatives. Like, they make you dissociate. But I think that it's actually the other way. I think the way we are naturally, well, not naturally, the way that we are trained to be dissociative, uh, those psychedelics do the exact opposite. They force us into our environment and force us back to nature and to react to like the most basic of things, and that is energy. And wow, well, stop being a chicken. Anyways, yeah. So me liking back at it, just chilling, and yeah, watch. He's gonna bark. $10. The other dog, not this one. And yeah, I think it's kind of funny that they say that the drugs are the dissociative when we are. so it appears as though that dog is very high energy. So is this one. So that dog's a little feisty one. It's tiny, but it's got a mouth on it. I think this has been good for me. This little walk, and I'm like I said, this motherfucker thinking he's all hardcore too. And I don't know, I find it curious how petty humans are, just as a species. I mean, then again, we don't know how these other animals are thinking, and we're one of the animals. I mean, who am I to judge? But anyways, as I was saying about the babies, and it's very I think our biology is very cool and peculiar. Just like, in fact, any animal's biology is very cool and peculiar. It's just such an orchestra of vibrations and chants, and not even chance. It's just probabilities, and and how do we know that? Something seems to have riled him up. He's tracking something, and yeah. So, what was I saying? Yeah. So, our biology is it's cool. It's really awesome, and I'm very interested in the sciences, but as well as philosophy, and just like explaining the world and how we run it, and find it very intriguing. I'm getting quite tired right now, but I hope my voice is coming in clear. Uh, it's still I wouldn't say it's fall yet, but look, as you can see, you can kind of see. I don't know if you can see this, but the leaves on these trees are starting to turn a little bit yellow and orange, and it's a little bit more of a look. They're starting to droop. I don't know if you can see. Might just be the light, but even nature goes through depression and mania. We say that it's depression and mania, and we call it bipolar, but that's essentially what everything is. We are all bipolar, and some of us to the extent more than others, and we have all these fucking stupid ass diseases and mental disorders that are labeled by pharmaceutical companies like, oh yeah, you have bipolar disorder. But I'm pretty sure there's a way to cure that shit. Like, I know there's a way to prevent it, but I know that you can probably cure it just by changing your outlook on life. And if, say, you do need drugs, I guess fine, take them for a while, but you don't need to. There's no reason for you to take a drug to regulate your mood for the rest of your life. I mean, you want to do that? Smoke some fucking weed. I don't know. But I think it's stupid. We're being those are the actual dissociatives. Those drugs are the dissociative ones. Those are the evil drugs. I think that's evil. Oh, this person's sad and unhappy and depressed. I don't know. Maybe at the same time it's a good thing, because now those people are able to get relief. I don't know. Who am I to judge? But I just think that there are better ways to help people who are in depression and shit. And well, see, look, either again I'm talking like a hick, and but I don't care if I'm feeling I don't know what the word for it is, but if I feel like using the word shit, I'm gonna use it, right? I mean, I don't really filter myself too much. I mean, to an extent I do, but I try to be polite for the most part, and I try to carry an intellectual conversation, but sometimes, fuck it, sometimes you have to speak from the heart, and I don't know. I'm on like my little. I'm in my own world right now, and I really like I find that when I'm talking to this, like I don't think I'm talking to a camera. I think I'm just talking to myself, which is true. Like I'm getting very tired too, so I don't know. I wanna get some shut eye now. It's been a good walk. Uh, got a few things off my chest, and yeah, so progress is good so far. I'm actually gonna probably buy a weightlifting belt just so I can be a little bit safer when I'm going back, because I think it's important to be safe. I mean, I like squatting and deadlifting as much as the next guy. Well, probably a little bit more than the next guy. But when you're injured and you're recovering, it's important to, you know, take it a little bit easy and go through the proper channels. I'm not gonna be fucking squatting and deadlifting anytime soon. At least 3 weeks, and I'll come back very strong. I think I'll have to. It'll be pretty much relearning it, and if I have to stay late, I will, and I'll just develop my power. I really want to do 10 by 10 anyways, and really develop it and get both. And I think it should be fun, because I think that's also another. Also helps, and I mean, lifting heavy is good for your tendons and all, but it's been a while since I did some high rep work, and I really enjoy high rep squat work. And my legs just blow up, and it's probably due to the sarcoplasmic hypertrophy rather than the, I forget what the other one is called, sarcoplasm and myofibrillar, however you say it, and which is like strength and actually increasing the density in the muscle fibers, whereas sarcoplasmic is like it increases the blood volume and the fluid retention in the muscle. And you know, it's like it's good to have both. Anyways, that's the end of my video right now. So that's facebook.com/Eric the Conqueror or youtube.com/user/the Sandman047. This has been Eric on my spinal update. I'm gonna stretch out a little bit, you know, and I'm gonna attempt a wall sit and see if I can roll up my hip flexors a little bit, and I'm gonna have a good night. Good night, world.